very good evening. Vande Gurum to all. Let us officially start our program. Today, our Master of Ceremony is Madam Shalini Nair. She is the Principal of Kekani Global Academy, Coimbatore, and our Zonal Director of Coimbatore. I invite Madam Shalini to conduct. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sreesan. One child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world. A quote by the daughter of a teacher, Malala Yousafzai, rightly said so. Teachers are the first guiding step in this big, bad world. Without a mentor over our heads, a guide to distinguish right from wrong, we will all be bodies without spirit. From teachers to custodians. During this time, teachers have gone to incredible lengths to help their students keep learning. To every teacher around the world, we have two words for you. Thank you. From embracing remote learning opportunities to providing emergency childcare, our teachers have stepped up to the plate. As a mother of all professions, teaching profession stands as unique and unparalleled. There is also one important distinction between teaching as a profession and all other professions. While the other professions primarily focuses on making out a living, the teaching profession focuses on things which are valued more than money and going beyond the parabola of health. While growing up, the only person we tend to respect after our parents are our teachers, because the greatest lessons learned are learned in the classroom. Even though many times we feel that it's a waste, like when in the classroom, even I used to feel that in my school days, why are we learning all these lessons? But maybe somewhere down the line, after a decade, everything starts to come into a practicality. And hence, our bookish lessons come to life. Good evening to all the brand ambassadors of education, all the lovely educators out here. A happy Teachers' Day, and what a right moment to be together. Shubham karoti kalyanam, arogyam dhana sampada, shatru buddhi vinashaya, deepa jyotir namostute. Light and brightness represents the positive and the good spirits. By lighting a lamp, the lamp becomes a form of fire, or tej, as in Sanskrit. The lamp burns not to be the light itself, but merely as a message to remind all who are present of peace and of positive brightness. The presence of light or fire, in Sanskrit as we call Agni, will ensure success. Let's spread the divine grace by lighting the lamp, followed by the Vande Gurum chant. This Teachers' Day, we just do not want to thank you on a paper or an e-card, but we would like to celebrate with all of you here virtually, because that's what the current situation possesses. Celebrate to thank anyone and everyone who have been contributed in making you, you. Not every teacher needs to be called ma'am or sir, and not every teacher needs a stick to teach you lesson. Well, experiences with certain people often turns out to be our greatest teachers, and these should be cherished. What's more spectacular to have with us Krish the Iyer on this day. I welcome you, sir. And for our participants, I will talk about his profile a little later because I won't be doing justice if I cut it short right here. So on behalf of CEIR, I welcome you to this wonderful platform of educators. I also take this opportunity to welcome the Board of Directors, CEIR country heads, the zonal directors, Middle East directors, principals, teachers, and all our enthusiastic participants here on Zoom and on FB and on YouTube and all the social media. Let's get the evening rolling. Okay, so before I start, let me give a brief introduction about CEIR to our special guest, Mr. Krish, and all. Am I audible?
Yeah, now it is fine now. Please
Now
go
it's
ahead. No
fine.
issues, no issues.
Perfect.
It happens. Please go ahead.
Where did you lose me?
Here you have to start.
After the
So
lighting
just
of
learn
the
about the vision mission.
Yeah. You are introducing CAR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. I don't know what happened. All technical features.
No problem.
So let me give a brief about CEIR to everybody, the first timers and our special guest, Mr. Krish. Center for Educational Initiatives and Research, CEIR Global Trust, established a common platform for educators, students, principals, parents, and management so as to improve the overall culture in India and abroad. Since its inception from 2009, CEIR has conducted many extraordinary programs for the target groups from K1 to K12. And all CEIR programs are powered by Veda Handwriting Lab. The landscape of education, as you all know, is changing. And as a result, it's going to change the public standing of teachers. As people are much more aware of their importance now in this virtual platform. It has also fueled a much greater appreciation for virtual learning as a supportive mechanism. Well, CEIR has envisioned this requirement and has relentlessly connected with educators globally to give the best to the teachers and students of Indian schools across the globe. And as a part of this initiative, we have planned and scheduled very many programs and webinars for everyone. So a quick glimpse into the same. Our webinars have been on demand from day one. We have had all Saturdays, some weekdays planned with intriguing topics undertaken by the best speakers and educators around the globe. We had also conducted quizzing sessions on NEP 2020, and we had around 3,000 participants, more than 3,000 participants. Isn't that mind-blowing? To ease the understanding and implementation of NEP, we started a masterclass series, and on popular demand, we are back with the series 2. And we have 8 weeks, 8 Saturdays with 8 impactful speakers. 2 crucial factors have shifted due to the pandemic. Well, first, the pedagogical adaptations have proven to be pivotal as traditional lecturing in-person models do not translate to remote learning environment. And the second, the pandemic has recalibrated how teachers divide their time between teaching, engaging with students, and administrative tasks, and of course, to get the family time and the me time. Well, for this, CEIR would like to dedicate this month of September as Teacher Empowerment and Appreciation Month to facilitate all the educators who swung into action modeling resourcefulness and resilience for their students. So here are some programs which is planned for the month. We have session on positive psychology in the classroom by Dr. Fred Luskin from Stanford University. CEIR has also entered into collaboration with the Royal Society of Chemistry, a professional development session for the science teachers that would be spread across 3 weeks. We would kickstart the program from the mid of September, and the registration forms will be found in the chat box, and you will also get to know more about it in the weeks to come. As we help students to become change agents, especially this time, because it's it's not a easygoing platform for students and teachers and everyone around. And when the world was grappled with this pandemic, health disparities, etc., we are just trying to help students and teachers to adapt the lessons to meet the moment. And to ease the process, we have associated with Infosys a Springboard, a digital platform for personalized modular learning that would host a bundle of experiences for both students and teachers. Well, as I already told you, CEIR is supported by Veda Handwriting Lab. As Veda Handwriting Lab, we say good or bad handwriting is an existing myth. There is only trained or untrained handwriting, and Veda offers multiple programs for students and teachers. And the best part is these programs are backed by scientific research. One Day Handwriting Improvement Challenge provides a quick and visible improvement in students and teachers. So don't miss it out. On 19th, we have scheduled a session for all age groups. You will find the registration link in the chat box, and I think you need to grab this opportunity to get yourself to improve your handwriting. Be a Handwriting Trainer is again a certificate program designed for teachers, and the new batch would begin by 22nd September. It's a wonderful program for everyone, so don't miss the opportunity to become a handwriting expert. Today, amongst this August gathering, we would like to inaugurate the Best Practice Series. This is a conceptual analysis of the care, which is involved on the part of teachers during this process, the teaching learning process, the transactions, and the relationship it has to teachers' identity. The authors, the teachers, they tell personal and composite stories of their professional and personal experiences, hoping that these narrative snippets will highlight teachers out of the classroom and in classroom experiences. I do not want to give more details out here because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You will slowly get to know the Best Practice Series as it's unveiled in the weeks to come. Okay, so here comes the moment. Versatility. Thy name is Krish the Iyer. Civil engineer turned model, radio jock, voice artist, voice coach with his master's in applied psychology and practicing clinical hypnotherapist. He has also been a TV presenter, TV actor, having done over a dozen serials, movies in Tamil and Malayalam. He started his career as a marketing professional and then into hardware and software programmer, web designer, adjunct lecturer, and currently a clinical psychologist. He has spent over 30 books in 4 languages, and currently he pursues a degree in law. He loves to be a mentor to kids, painter, and is an avid YouTuber too. Now, what do you call that profile? Isn't it a power-packed one? So let me invite Mr. Krish. Over to you, sir. The platform is all yours. I don't want to take much time of you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to wish all the dignitaries, all teachers, all great gurus, a very happy Teachers' Day. I'm honored by being here because what I am today is a result of what my teachers gave me without me asking for it. That is what really happened, I would say. Now, let me just give you a glimpse of what I came through because the introduction part, we talked about Sanskrit, we talked about different aspects of teaching, the classrooms, when Shalini ma'am was talking about all these things. I was just thinking that a glimpse of what happened would really uh, give a good start to the nation builders, teachers as the nation builders, because today the president himself has said that particular line, which says teachers are the nation builders. Now, for a beginning, like every student, I found classes somewhere interesting, somewhere boring, and all that stuff happened. But a few of my teachers, they touched my heart. First one probably from my upper kindergarten and my first four standards. I remember two of the teachers who got me acting on plays in school, who brought me to the stage to speak uh, from St. Teresa's School, Lily ma'am and Victoria Miss. I remember both of them because they brought me first on stage on two different occasions, one as an actor and one as a speaker. Now, post that, my aspiration was to become a pilot officer in the Air Force. And from a young age, I always wanted that. Aspirations continued during my seventh standard. My math teacher, Thomas Joseph Sir, he, uh, in order to spend time so that we don't get bored, he used to give us glimpses of psychology. Now, that after very many years, at the age when people stopped studying, I got into an MSc psychology because that remained in my heart. What my teacher during the seventh standard, what he spoke during the extra time we had in class. Now, after that, I got selected for the Air Force, but my parents, as usual, because my generation saw parents saying that doctor or engineer, two choices. And that exactly happened. I had to give up my dream of becoming a pilot officer, even after getting selected, and Defense Academy had approved my admission, but I couldn't go. And I pursued my engineering and civil engineering, passed out with a first class. Along with that, I also did a postgrad diploma in environmental protection management because my teachers who taught me environmental engineering were really interesting. Now, that uh, uh, was not so fruitful because when you come out, you understand that 1,500 is not a monthly salary to live for. So again, I switched to computers, started doing websites, started doing programming, hardware and software, was teaching PeopleSoft in Chennai after getting trained in Hyderabad. I remember Azhar, who taught me so well. And moving on, my passion towards media brought me to radio. 11 long years of 16 to 18 hours inside the studio doing radio shows. And probably you have heard my voice in a different way. If I say my voice you have heard would sound something like Malabar Golden Diamonds, celebrate the beauty of life. Or maybe Asta, care beyond boundaries. All those stuff, that is what I do for my living as a voice artist. Now, my heart always told me that there is something in the Indian, what you call the culture. And the culture has brought me to a stage where I prefer teaching to many other professions. Now, currently I'm a student because I want to be a student lifelong because knowledge never ceases to exist. Like the name Veda, which stands for knowledge, it is like a sea where we won't even get droplets if we try for a whole lifetime. And my endeavor to learn more has been on since the time I've started studying. So I would say my quest for knowledge continues, but I respect teaching so much because that is the way you reach out to different hearts, and that is how you mentor the world. Now, coming to today's topic, I happen to see a very beautiful message today on the social media, which actually talks about the language Sanskrit, which describes teachers in different ways. Now, I'd like to throw light because that is more interesting, and I want you to introspect as a teacher on what level are you, because Sanskrit calls each person with a different name. If a person gives you information, he's actually called Adhyapak. In Hindi, they say Adhyayan, like the practice. So Adhyayan, who gives that information to practice something, he's an Adhyapak. Yes, we have many teachers English has only one word, teacher, but adhyapak is the first word. Now, coming to the next word, one who imparts knowledge along with information. Information is just raw data. Now, currently, there are many people who would be telling you a lot of stuff. So, there is no information, there is no knowledge along with information. So, when you give knowledge and information, then you become an upadhyay. Now, upadhyay, upa-adhyay, like other than the adhyayan, there is something more. So, that more is knowledge. So, upadhyay is a person who gives knowledge and information. Now, coming to the next part, acharya. Now, acharan or practice of a daily virtue or daily habit or any kind of skill, when you impart skill along with knowledge and information, then you become an acharya. I have had many acharyas who were not probably high in their degrees, but they taught me a lot of stuff. During one of the Teachers' Day, I listed down the number of teachers, and the list still continues. Last year also, I have had many teachers who taught me, so I'm adding on to that list easily around about 500 people, I would remember. 250 was listed on the first list. Now it still continues, more than 500 teachers who are actually mentoring me still. I would add on to that. Moving on to the next person, one who has that deep insight, the deep insight into a subject. He is a pandit. A pandit is a person who has an insight. Earlier in our schools, any person who is called pandit is most probably a Hindi teacher. But the word pandit is more of an insight. I remember one of my teachers, Carey sir, Professor E.J. Carey. He taught me English in such a way that he made me love Wordsworth. He made me Ralph Waldo Emerson, how he wrote. He got me into understanding what sonnets are, what octets are, what haiku is, and different kinds of poetry and literature, which is a part of me now, where out of these 34, 35 books which I've written, most of them will have some element of poetry in me. So I would call Professor E.J. Carey, he was a pandit because he had that insight to give me, and that is how the interest in that subject grows. Now, a visionary who has a vision and passes the vision on to a teacher, that person is called a drishta. Drishta, who gives a vision to a person. Now, we have many people who are very knowledgeable. During my tenure as a systems manager for an air travel company, I happened to interview a lot of people. Now, when they came, they have their degrees, but they don't have any idea of how practically that degree would be put to use. And I had to reject most of them because, in spite of having a degree, their practical knowledge is almost like zero. Now, this is a part of the previous generation where many people wanted to learn to make money. It just translates to a higher degree is a higher salary. But I do believe I will come to the scripture part in a short while, where this is more of giving a person a vision. So Drishta is another level of teaching. And then we come to one person who awakens the inner self, the one person who can remove the darkness, one who dispels the darkness is a guru. The darkness is completely wiped out with the insight, with the vision, with the knowledge, with the skill. All that is imparted is a person who is a guru. We all have gurus in everything. Take the nature. We have a guru in nature. We have animals. If you take yoga, you will find all the yogasanas are inspired by a tree or an animal or a fish or anything, because all the asanas are named after animals from whom they learned that this is how you can stretch a part of your body or calm your mind or probably do something more with what you ever thought that you could do. So that extension comes from nature. So Guru is one person who dispels darkness. Let me take you to Purusha Suktam. The Purusha Suktam Uttarayanam, there is a particular verse which actually describes the society. The Purusha or the whole society is described there. In that, they say Brahmano se mukhamasi bahu rajanyakradaha uru tat vaishyaha padosya shudraha. The structure of a society is given where one who knows the source or one who is knowledgeable is the person who actually should be the face. Now, if you take a body structure, the face has a higher flexibility of moving 180 degrees, looking up and down. All that flexibility of the body of the society is the teachers, one who teaches. Brahmajnana, or the knowledge of source, is what really matters. And those are the teachers who will actually guide. The vision is there in the face, the hearing, the major senses except the skin. You have your mouth, the taste, the smell, the eyes, the ears, everything on the face. So the knowledge or the source of knowledge is the face. That is what a society should look up to. Now, today's topic, what we are building a nation. Yes, the face of the society should be teachers. And I'm actually honored to be sitting with a whole lot of almost about 326 of faces of the society, and I'm so happy about it. Now, Bahu Rajanyakratha, the second line says, the shoulder are the rulers. Now, why the shoulder? Because the teachers have to be supported. The neck and the shoulder, it actually supports the teachers. So the rulers should understand that the teachers need to be taken care of. They need to be given that structure to stand up. So they give the strength. So any kind of governance, the state, the welfare state, as we learn now, the welfare state should actually take care of the teachers who actually become the face of the society. Uru tad vaishyaha, the merchants should take the society forward because they form the legs or the thighs. The movement of the thighs, the movement forward happens only when the merchants take care of it. So the merchants are also supporting the rulers as well as the teachers and fathers, Shudraha, where the working class, anyone who works, this is not about caste or religion, it is about the society and the work. Probably in years to come, we would have something like a doctor or an engineer as a religion if things go like this. So these were professions and how the society was looking at. Now, nation building as such, I would say this gives you an idea why it is so important to have a good face. The teaching should be in such a way that they impart that knowledge, that insight, that skill, whatever they have wholeheartedly given to a student will brighten up and dispel the darkness. That is how the nation building has to happen. And it has been whenever I think of my gurus, I would say Vande Guru Parampara, where the whole tradition of being gurus, there are not many people who say after the age of 6 or 7 that I want to be a teacher, because somehow they have got an idea that the teaching profession is not a lucrative one, because we have given them an idea that money is the prime importance. But more than that, I would really say if money was important, then probably I would be sitting in a radio station in Dubai where I used to work, and I would continue making money. But money was not something very important. For me, learning more after my MSc, I wanted to do hypnotherapy, I wanted to do transaction analysis, I want to learn more. So I said, money I will make. That I can still make. The skill, what my gurus have given me, I will use that, I will make money. Though I might not be a very rich or an extravagant person who spends money like every day 5-star hotel or something, but I'm happy with what I'm doing because in the COVID period, I would say about 1,300 students, different batches of students, I could teach them voice through online courses. And somehow I feel out of them, there would be many voice artists who come forward and take it as a profession. So I'm honored that there were many platforms who gave me an opportunity to teach to. Now, coming back to our culture, we had a system of teaching where we used to teach Tarka Shastra, how to debate, how to ask questions. The teaching was not based on a text. It was based on what the teacher comes and says, and then there would be a debate asking questions, and that interaction was
You got muted.
Yeah. Now it is.
No. So the Gurukul system, there was more of people interacting, and that is how we had education. If you take the Pancha Pandavas, the Pandavas, 5 of them had 5 different qualities. They were not taught the same subjects. They had the electives, where Arjuna was taught the archery, and the mace was used by Bhima. The main Dharma Shastra was taught to Yudhishthira. Each person had a speciality. So the Guru identified what is special in each of the students, and they were taught what they really were interested in. That is why we have the Pandavas who were strong and who were like the best of the best from the teaching. Now here, are we getting a chance to ask a student, what is it that interests you? What subject is interesting to you? We rarely get a chance because our teaching system has a whole lot of things to do. But I really feel if you get a chance to ask one of your students, one of my friends who is a teacher, he said, it is not when the best student in my class gets 100 marks, I get happy. When the worst student gets a pass mark, I get happy because, yes, what I taught him has reached his heart. So that is the special aspect where you don't teach the person what he is not interested. But our system has a limitation. But again, if you get a chance to ask your students, what is it that you're interested in? What is it that you like? And if you can give that knowledge or insight, I'm sure all the 345 present here would turn out to be gurus who dispel darkness in the hearts of the students, and the society would have a face which is bright and shining, and the world would look up to every person who is in this group, who is imparting knowledge as a guru, and the darkness would be off, and we would not have any other issues. Because again, if you take the virtues being taught in class, we don't have virtues being taught in class. I remember a subject called moral science. We were asked to read the text and write the exam. But more than that, if I would attribute all that, I would attribute to Suresh Kumar sir, who was Adhyabaka Shrestha Award winner, who more than teaching, he gave us a legacy. I still go to his classes where he's teaching 7th standard or 8th standard students, and I sit with them because I love sir teaching and I love to listen to him. And he's also happy seeing me. So that kind of an interaction. These days, students feel that I gave you the fees and you are teaching me. It is like the pro quo. Yeah. So the amount of money being paid and all that thing should be moved from a child's head, and he should be taught there are virtues which are to be taken care of. Why you are to be somebody in life, and that reason is the person who is teaching you now. He is spending his time, he's spending his energy, he is being away from his family where he could have done a lot of stuff to correcting your papers. If one mistake is there, that mistake is being pointed out for you to understand where are we being taught that teachers are molding you. We are just taught that they are teaching you. So I really believe each of you would turn out to be the gurus who will make our nation so proud with a bright, shining face. And instead of, rather than me keeping on talking, I would like to interact also. So if you would have any questions regarding this or anything you would like to ask me or anything would like to tell me, I'm ready to listen. I'm a student always, and also I would be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Shalini ma'am.
Thank you so much. Your words reminded me of the writings in the autobiography by Lee Iacocca, where he says that in a completely rational society, the best of us would aspire to be teachers and the rest of us have to settle for something less. Well, in the days of yore, as you really mentioned, people who were the seekers of knowledge, focus more on free time than on learning. For such people, teaching was the natural choice. And they embraced teaching with this verve and vivacity that they could have a lot of free time, and during the free time, they learn things of enduring value, which can be shared with others. A prince or a pauper, whoever you are, one has to go to the so-called guru's school, and they had to offer him what is known as dakshina, which means a token of offering, because truly speaking, nobody can actually compensate for a teacher's effort, time, and wisdom. And I'm so happy that you brought out the various names of the guru, the teacher, and what it stands for, what it means today in this platform. I would also like to bring up the two ideals which we need to imbibe. We need to look at Dr. S. Radhakrishnan and Dr. Kalam. What they say is we can embrace aspirations and go from teaching positions to something big at a global level. And even if our status and power is that of a precedence, let's come back and stick to the core competency that we all share, which is teaching. How do I constantly elevate myself? Should this be the prime focus of the teacher? And then I think everything falls in place. Thank you so much for this enlightening speech.
Shalini ma'am, sorry to interrupt you. Since you brought the great names here, I would
Yes.
also like to acknowledge Dr. A.P. Jayaraman. He's a renowned scientist. He is presented today in our program. Vande Guru to Jairam sir. Vande Guru, Vande Guru. Please continue.
Vande Guru. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Sreesan. May I now invite Ms. Priya Murli, the Zonal Director of CEIR, to unfold the best practices series of schools.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ma'am, with your permission, I just take a second to share the screen. Yes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. A very happy Teachers' Day. It is often said in the teaching world, as in many professions and trades, why reinvent the wheel when there are plenty of practices that already work? In their book, Professional Capital, Transforming Teaching in Every School, Andy Hargreaves and Michael Fullan share their definition for best practices, which they define as existing practices that already possess a high level of widely agreed effectiveness. What are some of the best practices adopted over the last year from our schools? It is the adventure and challenge for all educators, right from grade kindergarten to grade 12, to take that tried and true strategy and evolve it, making it best to the next. In this digital age, for instance, as our students' needs and strengths shift, we must remain innovative, and our best should be transforming and moving toward the next best approach, tool, or strategy. When thinking about the learning and teaching in your classroom, what best practices do you utilize? Here, we take pride in showcasing the presentation, which has the best practice followed by each institution who have participated in the CEIR Education Excellence Awards. One movie.
Ma'am, you can manually do it, I believe.
Yeah, okay. No, but
no problem with the music, ma'am.
no. Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to our teachers and students. At this juncture, I am tempted to use the last stanza of Robert Frost's poem, Stopping by the Woods on a Snowy Evening. These lines should be reflected upon by every teacher in his or her attempt to bring the best in our students each and every day. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Ms. Priya. And I think this was spectacular to see the schools with such a lovely array of best practices. In fact, this if this is imbibed by all the schools, this world is going to be a better place. And I do agree with you, as you say, miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Over to the next much awaited program. And I request, had it been a physical program, we would have invited Mr. Chris to hand over the awards to all the schools. But unfortunately, being a virtual platform, in his presence, Mr. Chris, we would like to invite Mr. Suresh Nair, Principal of Vivek Vidyalaya, Mumbai, General Convener of CEIR, to take us through the award ceremony. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shalini ma'am. A very good evening to one and all present over here. I once again welcome our chief guest of the day, Sri Chris Venugopal. And I hereby acknowledge the august presence of Dr. A.P. Jayaraman, former senior nuclear scientist with the Baba Atomic Research Center, Mumbai. At the outset, I would like to extend a very happy Teachers' Day to all the nation builders. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember that you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars. This quote of Harriet Tubman is apt at this occasion and proved undoubtedly the success path of many institutions being present here. Honorable Chief Guest, Sri Chris Venugopal, I really feel honored to be here and pleased in sharing with you the pride of award-winning schools. Indeed, it's an occasion of joy for all of us. We have come together to celebrate this auspicious award ceremony. Sir, the objectives of CER, the Mark of Excellence Award 2021, instituted were to transform the schools into happy schools, to inspire schools to be the change makers, to encourage schools for quality enhancement, to help schools, to help schools implement National Education Policy 2020, to recognize best practices and innovations in school education. I would like to mention here that we had kept certain criteria for this award, such as academic excellence, innovation in pedagogical practices, health, wellness, happiness, welfare and safety measures, innovation in utilization of existing infrastructure, innovation in continuous professional development, that is CPD, life skills training and value education, environment conservation and emergency preparedness, innovation in use of ICT, promotion in multilingual activities, inclusive education. These are the criteria we had kept for the award. I'll be failing in my duty if I don't introduce the juries who have taken a lot of their busy schedule and evaluated these schools' nominations for the criteria mentioned earlier. We had the following juries for the evaluation. First will be Dr. Subhash Nair, who is the principal of Shanti Niketan Indian School, Doha, Qatar, and also a proud recipient of National Award for the Teachers. He chaired CBSE Gulf Savodaya in 2020. He is also one of our zonal directors for the Qatar zone. Sir, on behalf of CEIR and on my personal behalf, I extend my heartiest gratitude to you. Second is Mrs. Priya Murali, who is the CBSE Best Teacher Awardee and one of our zonal directors. She is having an experience of 25 plus years in the field of education over Madurai, Mumbai, and Muscat. She is a pure assessor for school quality assessment and accreditation by CBSE, and also a lead auditor registered with the International Registrar of Certified Auditors and also a certified NABET assessor. Ma'am, on behalf of CEIR and on my personal behalf, I extend my gratitude to you for your minute observation like an eagle in the sky. Third is Dr. Anupama Sharma, who is the principal of Edify School, Chhattarpur, and one of our zonal directors for the Bhopal zone. She is having 22 plus years of experience in the field of education. Ma'am, on behalf of CEIR and on my personal behalf, I extend my thankfulness to you. Fourth one, Mrs. Nirmala Thakur, who is the founder principal of Ambassador Kindergarten, Dubai, UAE. She is having 30 plus years of experience in the field of education, from kindergarten teacher to principal in various states of India and abroad, across all the boards. She had the honor of being the founder principal of the first Reggio Emilia inspired curriculum school in Dubai. At present, she is working as an education consultant. She is passionate about working with the strength of the teachers in creating the centers of excellence. Ma'am, on behalf of the entire team of CEIR and on my personal behalf, I extend my heartiest thankfulness and gratitude to you. I'm extremely pleased to recognize and mention that the contribution of each and every one present here has excelled in themselves. It has been proven that recognition of one's efforts is more highly valued than anything else in this world. When it comes to the educational field, it's customary in our society to recognize the highest achievers whose names to be engraved on the pages of the Book of Award, which boosts their competitive spirit and stand as an example to be followed. All the schools who have reached the final stage have gone through tough times of selection. And here I congratulate all of them for reaching this level to prove their exemplary teamwork and their extraordinary effort to be emulated by others whose dreams are yet to be fulfilled. I would like to extend my thankfulness to all the schools who have taken so much pain to fill our lengthy nomination form and for being part of our first ever Excellence Award from CEIR. I would like to inform you all that we have shortlisted 23 schools for the final scrutiny, of which 4 schools have been selected in the silver category, that you will know it is in the second level, and 3 in the gold category, the first level. Please note that, very, very important to note that pure merit is considered for the evaluation process. There is no other thing has been considered in the evaluation of any of the schools. Pure merit is considered for the evaluation process. I'll be reading out the names of the schools in the reverse order, that is from back to first. Also from silver to gold. The Silver Excellence Award now goes to the Millennium School, Dubai, UAE. Congratulations to the principal, staff members, and the students. The next Silver Excellence Award goes to Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Vadudala, Kerala. Congratulations to the principal and the team of Chinmaya Vidyalaya. The next Silver Excellence Award winner is the Orchid School, Pune. Congratulations to the entire team of the school, Orchid School, I'm sorry. And in the silver category, the first one is Bhardiya Vidya Bhavan's Public School, Hyderabad. Heartiest congratulations to the Bhardiya Vidya Bhavan's team. Friends, now I'm going to announce the Gold Excellence Awards. Again, from reverse order, in the reverse order, 3, 2, 1. The third Gold Excellence Award winner is St. John's Public School, Medavakam, Chennai. Congratulations to the principal and the entire staff members of and the students of St. John's Public School. And the second Gold Excellence Award goes to DAV Public School, Gurgaon. Congratulations to the team DAV. And the much awaited winner of CEIR, the Mark of Excellence Award 2021 is Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. Heartiest congratulations to the whole team of principal, teachers, and students of your excellent performance. Keep it up. Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. I would like to congratulate the principal, Mrs. Manila Carvalho, and her team, or all are present over here. Once again, I congratulate you all for your excellent performance, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir.
This is an occasion of joy for all the meritorious schools, as well as others who strove to show their excellence. I'm damn sure that in the next award ceremony, all these schools will be in an array to receive only gold medals, not gold awards, in fact. The key is not the will to win. Everybody has that. It is the will to prepare to win. That is important. Competing at the highest level is not about winning. It's about preparation, understanding, and nurturing. Winning is the result of all this. This result comprises of 5 C's: character, courage, conviction, compassion, and commitment, with 3 D's: dedication, devotion, and determination. So friends, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen. Please note that all these awards and the best practices certificates will be couriered to your school address by tomorrow, and it will be reaching you mostly by end of this week. In case of non-receipt, please do contact us. Lastly, but not the least, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to each and every team member of CEIR for their unstinted support to make this first ever CEIR the Mark of Excellence Award 2021 an excellent one. Wish you all the best. Jai Hind. Thank you. Over to Shalini ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suresh. I think I need to mention that Ms. Priya Murali and Mr. Suresh and Ms. Vijayam ma'am.
Yeah, proceed.
Yeah,
Sound
have been instrumental in the entire process of the best practices. Before we move on to the vote of thanks, there have been a request from the audience that they would like to interact with Mr. Chris. And I request the audience and teachers to please ask questions, or you want to interact with him. The platform is yours. Before anybody asks, I would like to ask a question with your permission, sir.
Yes, please.
When you talked of Vedanta and the Indian culture and the history, I would like to understand how do we marry the John Dewey's pragmatism to the highest ideals of Vedanta in the context of teaching and learning? Is it possible that we bring it to the present scenario?
It is possible. If you actually look at the ancient India, all the major universities where people used to come, and we call it Taxila, which was Takshashila, and we had Nalanda, we had universities of international order. But today we are actually undermining our abilities and looking towards foreign universities where again our teachers are teaching. And so the best practices or the highest ideals of a teacher can be found in our own Indian culture, where teaching itself is our prime important aspect. So understanding Indian culture will naturally catapult you to all the highest positions. Only thing what you need to understand is that it is not a profession. It is actually giving a person a life. Because any teacher of the ancient Indian system had the knowledge of the source, which is called the Brahmajnana. The source of knowledge is always there. And they used to give the right person the right education. So if that can be practiced, yes, your question would be answered there, where we'll have prodigies and only prodigies in India.
Thank you so much. I hope the entire educators here are ready to take, because the ball is in your court, dear teachers. You just need to set it rolling. Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to ask?
Can I?
Yeah,
Can
please,
I
ma'am.
Yes,
Please, Bindu ma'am.
Yeah, it was a wonderful session, sir. And my question is, you are told that society has to look at the teacher's profession with great respect.
Yeah.
But now, at present, what is happening, we all know. So in this deteriorated situation, how can a teacher be motivated? And how can a teacher be Acharya and visionary and guru all the time?
Yes, I would really appreciate that question, because there is an element of understanding from parents' side that they spend more time with teachers, the students, the kids actually spend more time with teachers than at home, because the corporate life has made them stay in office for a longer period of time. From 7 to 11 they would be working, and 11 o'clock they come and they rush and sleep, and that's what happens. They should actually inculcate, because we don't have the grandparents now, we don't have the joint family system anymore. They used to tell us that your teachers are the people who are going to mold you. They used to give us that information. So somewhere when parents talk to the kids, even teachers are parents, they actually should inculcate that feeling that teachers are what who are going to be instrumental in making their lives. So that education comes from home, and teachers passing on the virtues should not be out of compulsion or out of lack of interest, because there are a lot of people, I would say, here the best practices and all the activities what I'm seeing proves me wrong, that the teaching profession has lost its glory. It has the glory. It's the only thing is that we need to highlight it more. Today, when our honorable president, he actually said teachers are the nation makers. I strongly believe so, because if you actually look, Dr. APJ, he also would have had a nursery school teacher. He also would have a 5th standard or 6th standard or 10th standard. All these teachers, they are instrumental. And those teachers take pride in saying that, yes, he is my student. Now, that pride should be the inspiration for teachers, because probably somebody amongst these school kids now would be the Indian president or chief minister or prime minister, or the scientists or the path breakers in all fields. So that is the inspiration for teachers, and the inspiration towards building that culture or the Guru Parampara should be from the homes. The parents should actually, the parent teachers meeting should not be a place where the parents are told your kid is wrong. It is a point where you meet the parents and exchange your love towards the child. This is what your kid is good about. Appreciate it. A few words of appreciation can really change his ways. Because if you look at me writing poetry, like I write every morning. Now that actually, I would date it back to Professor E.J. Carey, who said, yeah, you're writing well, write more. So that words of inspiration from teachers can change the world, because the kids will look up to what the teachers say. The small red ink or a green ink saying very good or very, very good will change the lives of a child. So that is what will inspire the students, teachers, as well as the parents. And moving forward, we will have that restoring the respect for teaching profession.
So much.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Very rightly said. In fact, along with the teachers and students, the parents also need to stop and pause the rat race which they are in. And maybe that would lead to a different enlightenment altogether.
I would like to add, you were talking about Dakshina.
Yes.
Now, the word Dakshin, or south, as it says, is the direction for death. So
Right.
Dakshina is like, till death, I am indebted to you. That's what a student says when you actually give a Dakshina. Like, till the moment I am taken to the south direction, I'm giving my life to you. Whatever I do is because of you. That is what a Dakshina means. So it is not a fee being paid, which was the culture which was later brought in. But Dakshina, that is a message saying that the teacher who has made him, till his end of his life, he is indebted to that teacher. So that is what Dakshina means.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the wonderful information.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I think Kajal ma'am is there with raised hand.
Yes, Kajal.
Yes, yes. First of all, happy Teachers' Day to
Happy.
all. And Chris, sir, the
Yeah.
question for you here is, in the midst of COVID, we've seen there is a lot of distress in the teachers. And there is a new, rat race for learning new ways, new technology is in place. So how to overcome? Because of course, learning new technology is need of the hour, but at the same time, all teachers are not privileged to get all such trainings. So if you can enlighten and, bring some light on this.
Yeah. First of all, the concept we call new generation or the next gen or the new technology is not actually so new. Because if you take our Indian culture, we had Vaimanika Shastra by Bharadwaja Maharshi, and that talked about flights and Mercury and all those technology which we have still not used. Now, what is happening is our intellect or our learning pattern has been reduced year after year. If I asked you how many telephone numbers you remembered when you were a child, you would say about 20 or 30. But the new technology has made you so idle and so lazy that you would remember hardly a number, your own number probably, or that too, if you have a visiting card, you will forget that also. So the new technology is actually making you lazy. Learning that also is fine, but that should be with a kind of gradation. There is no rat race as per the technology, because we have lost a lot of technology. But again, at the same time, if you look at keeping abreast with the technology, I would say it is good enough, but not to an extent which spoils you. That will actually slow down the pace, because now we are thinking that if we don't know an iPhone, if we don't know say a Python, a language Python, or if you don't know artificial intelligence, we are stupid. No, it is not. It is not true, because my teachers probably who taught me what to become have actually instilled in me the quest for knowledge. There is a small story where to Buddha, a person comes, and he is actually a person who is so very devout to Lord Rama, and he says, "Does really God exist?" So Buddha says, "No, he doesn't." So he runs off, and the students were like, his disciples were totally bewildered, thinking that he said God is not there. So we are happy, like from tomorrow onwards, everything is going to be easy. Now, evening, there is a debater who is called a Charvaka. The Charvaka debates that God is not there. He comes and says, "All my life, I have won awards and got money for saying that God is not there. What if God is there?" So Buddha says, "God is there." Now, the disciples again get confused, because morning he said God is not there, evening he's saying God is there. And at night, they ask him, "Why did you say so?" So Buddha says, the best thing what a teacher should tell every student, the search should continue. For a person who has believed in God, if somebody says God is not there, he will go in search of that God. His search continues till his life ends. If a person who has been saying God is not there, if you say God is there, he will try to prove that God is not there. So the search should continue, nothing else. That search will keep you going.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And this brings us to the moral. Yes, learning is need of the hour, but not at the extent. Bringing balance is more important than getting that urge in us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. And with the smile of Kajal ma'am, I can understand that she's so satisfied with the answer. Yeah, thank you so much. Very rightly said. We ignite the spark in the child, and that is more important. The curiosity is something which has to be kindled in every child.
If you take a small lamp, like we started with the lighting the lamp, the child or the student is just the wick. The flame of knowledge is lit, and the fuel for that search should be again and again poured onto the child. The teacher is the person who is actually pouring that oil, which is the fuel for him to go on with the search. And then only the light continues. Otherwise, whatever information you give as a light will die out, because that fuel needs to be given. That is the search which keeps you going.
Very true. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Anybody else?
Deepali ma'am is there. Our AP Sharma sir is there. Malla ma'am.
Ma'am.
Rajalakshmi ma'am. We have 20 minutes time. Sorry, 19 minutes time. So
Anuradha ma'am raised her hand.
Anuradha ma'am. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm really taken aback. We did not have educators like you when we were doing our schooling, sir. I went back to my childhood days. History minus students. What is your comment on this, sir? As with reference to Indian history.
History
We
minus.
talk about Gurukulam and other thing. I think students, they just look at us like that. So the basic foundation with reference to knowledge, that is history, and that's what I personally feel. All these rich traditional, cultural, whatever we call it, just goes on with reference to India, because Westerners are following us. How can we inculcate this into the students, into the students, so that they can appreciate our system? Westerners are learning from us.
Yeah.
But our Indian students are going out, moving out.
Yeah. I would like to throw light on an age-old system we had in every small village. Every small village had what you call a small mandali or a drama troupe, and they used to take stories from mythology and enact it. That was to tell stories to people, because stories win the hearts and stories remain with you forever. Now, history, not specifically on saying that on 1942, on this particular date, this happened, on 1930, this happened. Now, that is not what history is all about. History is about telling them stories. I remember my history teacher telling me about Bhagat Singh when he was small. He went into Jallianwala Bagh, and from there he took a small amount of sand, thinking that from that the weapons would grow, and he was like planting that feeling of what you call the national pride in him by doing so. So when you tell stories, not as history but as stories. Now, if you ask a person what Akbar did, probably they won't answer. But ask him if a person is shown Jodha Akbar, they'll say Hrithik Roshan did this, Hrithik Roshan did that. So visual teaching or history along with visuals, that will actually help. Now that's the first point. And the second point, when you teach history, are you passionate about history, or are you just teaching for the sake of teaching? If a person is teaching history with that passion in him, I'm sure that every child would fall to his feet and learn more from him. They would like to hear more. So the passion you have for history, they should be teaching history. And a lot of things which are not said, like we had a person, Ram Prasad Bismil. I often say it in every speech of mine. Ram Prasad Bismil was a Hindu writer who took the pen name of Ram Prasad Bismil from the word Bismillah. Like everything starts with his name, that particular name, that was his pen name. And he was the one who wrote Sarfaroshi ki tamanna ab hamare dil mein hai, dekhna hai zor kitna bazuye qatil mein hai. So that kind of a feeling which he could write in Urdu, being a Hindu Pandit. Now, that was a kind of people who will inspire that you can learn other languages, you can go beyond religion, you can go beyond all faith, and how we work on different things like different places, its importance. If you take to a historical place, tell them stories about it. So these are kinds of things which will instill that a real thirst for history. And once you learn that, then you will have a national pride. I remember during one of the sessions, which Kajal ma'am, I was telling them, we all say hi, bye, and all that. Why don't we start saying Jai Hind? Because we have that pride is instilled. So history is an integral part of us. If I'm an Indian, I should be proud saying that I'm an Indian. So I would really appreciate if every person teaches history visually or in stories, and people would take pride in all that. And the way you do it, if you do it with passion, then history cannot be minus from students, and students cannot be minus from history, because they are going to be a part of history very soon. We are all a part of history because you're doing the change now. Now, many years later, a person who walks into a DAV public school or any of those schools, they'll see the certificate and they'll see that was history. On this particular date, on a Teacher's Day, an award was given to them by CEIR. So that is history. So we cannot minus history. We are nothing without that. So that passion needs to be there, and then we cannot minus it. It is an essential part, and we need to take pride in our culture, our history, the land which we live in, because we have been the land of disseminating knowledge, and we should continue being so. Like the Oxford or the Stanford, what we talk now, there should be a time when they talk about a DAV public school or all these Orchid School or any school in India, and people should come from far to learn here. I hope I answered your question.
Sarma sir is there from Oman. Sir, would you like to say something, Sarma sir? AP Sarma sir? Yeah, Nirmala ma'am want to say something. Yeah.
Thank you, CEIR, for the efforts that you have taken to honor all the schools, participating schools. On this auspicious day, I want our Mr. Venugopal, can you guide the schools, the teachers, the principals, and including me, that how can nationalism and internationalism be taught to the students, teachers, principals, school as a whole, with the light of Radhakrishnan's ideologies, Lala Lajpat Rai's philosophy, say Rabindranath Tagore's ideas, Aurobindo's ideas, because we see that schools, participating schools, are built on their ideologies. So how can we regain, that's what you were talking, how can we once again connect all the great minds of the past to the future?
Nirmala ma'am, I would like to take that one word from your last line, which is mind, where Tagore says in Gitanjali that where the mind is without fear, where the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into tiny fragments by narrow domestic walls. That kind of a world only an Indian mind could envisage. We cannot find more stronger ways to express what a nation should be. Into that country of freedom, let my country awake. That is what Tagore said. Now, once you tell a student this is how a world should be, and that is what Tagore said, they will never forget Gitanjali. Now, this is more of an existentialistic thought, where you say that this is a nation and this is international. This is national and that is international. Actually, we are teaching humanity. The way to teach humanity, starting from Tagore or Aurobindo, where if you go to his ashram, he would, that what we find there is talking with flowers. In an Aurobindo ashram, you are talking with flowers. If you go to Pondicherry, you will actually feel that expression. So if a child goes there once, instead of an international destination, he would understand what it was like. So initially, teach them what India is. Now, once they know what India is and what international destinations are now, they can actually envisage a new India, which is at par with any of those Western countries. So it is more of understanding what India is, which really needs a stress, because we all know about Eiffel, Gustave Eiffel, the Eiffel Tower, you have the Statue of Liberty, all those things we know. But are we teaching them a Sawai Man Singh Ji building a Jantar Mantar, 5 of the Jantar Mantars still working, which shows the sundial, the correct to the time, where all other clocks fail. With the sun's rays, are we taking them to a Jantar Mantar and telling them this is how you see time? Do you see a Konark temple and tell them that this is how the sun moves, and exactly on one particular day the sun comes here? How did that happen? You can tell them that there was a time when GMT was not in Greenwich, it was in Allahabad. It was moved to Greenwich later on, after the British advent. So we can actually instill that pride in every student, saying that we had the world time. People looked at when sun rises in India, that is the start of a day. Now we talk about GMT and we are plus 5.5 hours. So that kind of a knowledge about the past will instill that pride of the nation. Then we can talk about international, because once we have the pride about our nation, we will not mistake anyone. We will not violate any kind of rules. We will not actually look down upon anyone. We will start respecting each and every other nation, and that is nationality and international put together as humanity.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Lakshmi Kumar, ma'am.
Zeenat, Ms. Zeenat ma'am, and
Lakshmi ma'am is waiting for a
Lakshmi ma'am. Yes, Lakshmi ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, CIR, for such an inspiring message, day, celebrations, and recognition. My question to Chris Iyer, sir, is this. Very tricky situations that we are in is that how do we talk about the religious narratives without polarizing it? Especially when, India would require very strong political leaders who are secular, who are nation builders, and that seems to be one vacuum that's staring at us. So how do we really build nations without, by being very silent on these discourses?
Yeah. So one thing we need to understand is that every religion talks about humanity. Now, if I have to cite an example, if you take the particular verse, chapter 5, verse 23 from Bhagavad Gita, it says, "Ananyashinte mam tejana paripaste tesham nityapyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam." I come and deliver whatever is needed for your day, and I can deliver all your prosperity, right? That is what the Bhagavad Gita says, that the Lord says that he will do so. Now, if you take the Bible, during the Last Supper, the Christ says, "I give my body as bread and blood as wine to you." Now, what does bread and wine mean? Bread is a daily need, wine is pleasure. Yoga, kshemam, vahamyaham. So the Lord himself gave bread and wine. So it talks about the same thing. Now, if you take the Islam, in that when a person dies, they say, "Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un." Now, whatever comes, it goes back to the same God. So if these three lines are put together, you can see very well that God, the Lord, whomever, like if you believe so or if you don't believe so, he has been trying to tell the same thing over and over again through ages. When man went wrong, he came again and told the same thing. Again, he went wrong. Again, he came and told that incessantly. Lord is not none other than a good teacher. You make a mistake, they'll come and teach you again. You make another mistake, they'll come and teach you again. So religion is nothing but what people misunderstood for a repeated lesson of the same knowledge. Now, once you understand, every person has the same kind of blood. Every person has either A, B, O, or AB, with a RH positive or RH negative. There is no other variation. We are all made of the same number of bones. We are all made of the same tissue, and everything is the same. It is just that the understanding of the people of that age was written down as a holy book. And later, when he again conveyed the message, it was written down as a different book. It is nothing different. It is just humanity.
Thank you so much. In fact, I think to summarize it, it would be like modernity. It's like a vision of conquest. And the conquest is what we determine it to be in today's world with the Indian context, which is so rich. Thank you so much for that. I hope that answered you, Lakshmi ma'am.
And the song, ma'am, the song he has promised in the beginning.
Yes, of course.
There was one more person waiting for the question, no?
It's not there, ma'am.
I cannot see any hands raised.
Not there.
Was it the same question?
Requesting you to sing the song.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So I think we'll hear you sing.
Okay, the lines I sent is nothing other than the Guru Vandana, which was Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
It was nice to hear that, soulful, which is all, it's something common to all teachers, school, and I think every child knows this. It's like how, I would like to, just mention about Bertrand Russell when he asked a very disturbing question. Isn't it so cruel that in all our systems of education, the child is the means for something and not an end in itself? I think this lingers on in the minds of every educator. So if there are no more questions, may I hand over the platform to Dr. Shah Jahan for the vote of thanks. Dr. Sreesan, can I?
Yeah, please proceed, ma'am.
So over to Dr. K.K. Shah Jahan, Chairman of National Public School, Kollam, and President of CEIR for the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Our today's chief guest, Mr. Chris Venugopal Iyer, sir. Our CIR Global Trust members, zonal directors, premium members, other members, principals, and all attendees of today's function. It's an entirely different thing that the two things happened today. Number one, that we were celebrating the important day of the Teachers' Day. I am wishing you all national builders a happy Teachers' Day. Second one that we are celebrating, that's the first in the history, or it should be written in golden scripts, the Mark of Excellence Award 2021 that initiated for the first time. It's a successful, really, it's a wonderful program in between. The CAR, but being the president, I wanted to say something about the CAR trust and how it came into existence. Everyone should realize, everyone should remember that how we came to this level. That's why I'm sparing some time with you, and please bear with me. CAR Global Trust started from Veda Handwriting Lab. That was, which was established to make the miracle to improve the handwriting of our children or the youngsters and elders of, it means in the student community. I feel it is responsibility to everyone to work for the same as part of the commitment, because we are here to raise the standard of education in India, like it means part with foreign countries. That's our primary, it means our aim. But along with that, we will have to consider this is the handwriting is also one of the factors that also to be considered, especially in the Teachers' Day. I'm requesting all teachers to take care and concentrate some attention on that particular thing and inspire your children to come and improve their handwriting, and whatever the efforts that we are making, make it successful. CAR became CEIRGT, and it's spread beyond the boundaries of India, and he went abroad. Now we are known as CEIRGT. Now we are in the second stage of development, and we are proud to announce that Shalini ma'am already mentioned what are the programs that we are designed for this month. That's I am not repeating this one, but anyway, slightly I am going and reminding you all once again. We are proud to announce September 2021 as the month of teacher empowerment and appreciation of CEIRGT. And we have 5 programs that we have scheduled for this month, and which are going to be announced here. We have a system on positive psychology in the classroom by Dr. Fred Luxin of Stanford University, United Kingdom, UK. That's on 18th of September, it will take place. It will be really a wonderful experience that we'll have to prepare yourselves to attend and encourage others to attend. CAR Global Trust, join hands with Infosys. That's it's a wonderful message for all of you that I am proud to say that we have, or we mutually agreed to join with their Infosys Springboard, that is on particular form, and which is designed to make that Indian students digitally literate. A lot of advantages are there that we will explain through our CIR platform. And other point, I would like to say that professional development program for the science teachers, that's an international program for science teachers with a lot of advantages are there. It should be, it was arranged through Royal Society of Chemistry, that also from UK. These are the program schedule that you will get from us. Then and one-day program was arranged in 19th September. That's called Challenge for Handwriting Improvement by Veda Handwriting Lab. All teachers and students can participate, as I mentioned in the beginning. That's it means a requisite, and that's why teachers will have to encourage the students, and even the teachers also can join in that one. Another important thing, that the professional handwriting, that's a certified training course that we are doing for the teachers that who can build up their career as a trainer in handwriting. That's an excellent opportunity, and they can find a way of livelihood if they want. They can select, they can choose, they can do something for the society something for the growing children. That's all. These are the programs which we made. Now I'm coming to my point that we have got a lot of this thing. I have no words to say. My words, it won't be sufficient to say my sincere thanks and gratitude. Anyhow, today's our chief guest, Mr. Chris Gopalan Iyer, sir. Wonderful, sir. No words to say. You did an excellent job, an excellent speech. I am Shah Jahan. I started my career as a teacher in the year 1973. I think that I am the most senior teacher among you now. I myself felt that by sitting in front of you, that I am sitting with some new generation teachers. That was my feeling while I was continuing this one. However, teachers are always asset to the society. Of course, definitely, as I mentioned, you are nation builders. You should be proud. It's a divine job of yours. You should be proud to be a teacher. Many occasions, places that I felt this one. Now, in today's meeting, that point was exposed and is amplified. Anyhow, Chris Gopalan, sir, your speech on this particular explained everything, whatever in my mind I heard through your mouth. Thank you very much. And on behalf of CAER and the participants of this one, our GT members and zonal directors and other members that express our sincere thanks and gratitude. And another thing I must say, thanks to because I cannot forget the presence of Dr. Suresh Nair. Really, he did a wonderful job. I can't imagine that how this man organized everything. He's the general convener of this committee, and he did an excellent job. I cannot forget our Vijay Ma'am, Vijay and Karta Ma'am. Then a lot of people, his team, they worked very hard. It is not an easy task to find or to make or to choose one particular school or certain schools. Maintaining their salary. It's not an easy task. However, they completed this task within the time limit, and I appreciate all the committee members who engaged in that purpose. Then we have got our trust members, that Bindu Ma'am is there, Deepa Ma'am, and Pramod Mahajender, and Manila Ma'am, and Dr. A.P. Sharma, and 4 juries. Their service, that we must appreciate their service. That's on Priya Murali Ma'am, and Anubhav Sharma Ma'am, and Nirmala Thakur Ma'am, and Subhash Nair. Really, they have done an excellent job, and you will be remembered forever as long as CEIR is there. And I don't know that I left anybody's name. Finally, I want to say there is one we cannot ignore and forget. All the machinery is working from one single point that is not other than that of our reason. I don't know that he is having some divine power. I must say like that. And a normal person cannot handle all these things. He's doing everything because it's not an easy task to support all these things, because an international level that we are working an operation from one point. I appreciate you, Dr. Sreesan. And in the meantime, I appreciate the principals and teachers of award-winning schools and principals, and I congratulate the principals and the children and management of the institution. Secondly, I appreciate all the participating schools in this challenge of the Mark Excellence Award of 2021. I congratulate and appreciate everyone joined with this venture and for participating this occasion. I express my sincere thanks and gratitude on behalf of CEIR Global Trust. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shah Jahan. Well, so here comes the end of the day. So it is a day for us to sit and reflect. Do we as teachers and parents, as a society, give the respect that is deserving truly for the teachers, as very rightly brought in by Bindu Ma'am? Have we commercialized education too much? Well, it's also a time for teachers to reflect. Am I teaching? And am I teaching well? And am I just stopping with teaching? What about teaching constantly and growing up in life? And why should I be holding up the victim placard? I'm a teacher and I'm a ladder, but I will languish at the bottom. Well, not necessary. I think a paradigm needs to change. If you are a teacher and if you're going to empower 1 million students who are going to come under your care, your primary duty is to empower yourself. Move up in life, dear teachers. Yes, in all possible ways. In terms of knowledge, in terms of wisdom, in terms of skills, in terms of wealth, in terms of health, and in terms of joy and abundance. A true teacher doesn't speak only of mundane things and orderly subject stuffs. He or she tries to give a jhalak of the real life through the subject he or she teaches. And so to sum it up, a teacher is one who leads us from falsehood to truth. Asito ma sad gamaya, darkness to light. Tamaso ma jyotir gamaya, mrityu ma amritam gamaya, from death to immortality. So today, if we don't find the answers, if there are unquestioned questions still in the minds to Mr. Krish, let the questions remain. Let the questions linger. Let the questions haunt us. And let the questions guide ourselves and the circles that we know, and at large, our nation. So Jai Hind and Vande Guru. Thank you so much.